What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. Didn't see this one coming. Not at all, in no type of way. Jahad and Miss Hustle had a few choice of words on Spaces. So apparently Miss Hustle didn't like a statement that Jahad made when he said that Rum Nitty and Prep is her ghostwriters. Miss Hustle didn't take too kindly to that, and she wanted to press him about that statement because, according to her, it wasn't true, and she wanted him to apologize for what he openly, publicly said against her. Well, Jahad was telling her, like, well, you misrepresented the statement I made because where you trying to look for fault, it's not really fault there if you understand what I was meaning by the statement I made. So according to Jahad, he said when Hustle and Hitman battle was coming up and they were promoting for the battle, Hitman said some things to Hustle pertaining to her having ghostwriters, and namely named Rum Nitty and Prep and being her ghostwriters. So Jahad, who being a Miss Hustle fan, and he believes she's one of his favorite battle rappers, if not the favorite best female battle rapper in battle rap. Him being a heavy supporter of hers, he was saying in the recapping her and Hitman battle, that Hitman, you lost the battle, and that you said Hustle had a ghostwriter who was Rum Nitty and Prep, but yet how she beat you with them. So he was saying he was being sarcastic and making that statement because he was making that statement towards Hitman, rubbing it basically in his face, saying, okay, if Hustle got ghostwriters like Rum Nitty and Prep, why you ain't able to beat her then, since you believe you better than Rum Nitty and Prep? So he was saying that he was being sarcastic and using that. Hustle didn't take that too kindly, and rightfully so, because again, there is a lot of things involved in it, in this thing when it comes to battle rap, especially when something like that is actually alleged and attached to your name, when believability matters a lot in battle rap. So how could you have believability in battle rap if a person is writing your stuff? So she felt offended in that, and she wanted him to apologize for that because he made a statement that she believed was not true, that he just repeated from somebody else. And here's the thing, man. I know Jahad sometimes can fly off the handle. I want to also say this to him. For the most part, I'm gonna say for the most part, he handled himself well up there when talking to Hustle. He didn't want to disrespect no woman, he said. And he was not being disrespectful. And was literally how could I say this? I ain't gonna say he was literally I was gonna say he literally was trying to humble himself. And he did to some extent, because he could get real disrespectful, but he didn't. And I know it had nothing to do with fear of any threat that she may have said towards him, because Jahad is like a hothead. Jahad will go to the problem. He'll go to the trouble. We saw him do this on numerous occasions. Got into it with Queen Flip. He made it his business to meet up with Queen Flip, exactly what Queen Flip was at. He got into it with ADEP and supposedly had wanted to meet up with ADEP. He got into it with some other people and wanted to meet up with them. So Jahad is what we call a hothead. You're going to have to prove it to him. You're going to have to show him. He ain't running or ducking from nothing. Now, where do I sit in this? Listening to the video in the back and forth between them two. I don't believe Hustle was wrong as far as like feeling some type of way about the statement Jahad made, even though Jahad said the statement was not made in a sense to actually bash you and having ghostwriters. I was being sarcastic towards Hitman. But all it took is for you, Jahad, to just say, you know what? I heard what you said. And after listening to the tape, it could be taken that way, especially when I'm doing the video and I failed to didn't properly articulate what was going on to not bring shame to your name. But if I offended you in any type of way, I apologize, but that's not what I meant. But that wasn't the case. But again, sometimes, you know, when emotions run high and it was a lot of things going on, you had a nice size audience, and sometimes it could bring a person to a point of where um you just be resistant. You just be resistant. Now again, I believe at one time they wasn't really trying to hear one another out. That if they actually just did that, it wouldn't be a problem. Like I said, Hustle to have a problem feeling the way she felt, and Jahad, little bro, you should have just heard out on that because it is her name, it is her brand, it is her career. Even if you don't agree with what she said, at least allow her to say so, to say what she said, just out of respect, so that the same thing could be done to you when it's your turn to speak. And I don't believe they did that to one another to some degree. For the most part, you, Jahad, because you were fired up, you know what I mean, and were really, really barking. But I don't think this is nothing. See, I try to be careful with my words because I be wanting brothers and sisters to really, really pay attention of what's going on. So a threat was made that Jahad was offended about, and rightfully so, when you're saying you're going to get somebody to do something to him. Then I can see how he could feel some type of way when y'all both from New York. And I believe y'all both from Harlem too, if I ain't mistaken. So y'all from the same boroughs. And when that statement is made, any man in his right mind gonna be automatically defensive and maybe even more belligerent as a result of a statement like that being made, especially in the audience of many people, to make a statement like that. But I know at the same time, she probably feel I'm a woman. I'm not going to be dealing with a man. I would rather get a man for a man, you know. And she made that statement something about that's what she got her nigga for. That's what she got her man for. To handle things that he's supposed to handle as a man, as a means of her being a woman. So I think it's basically just no big deal. This ain't nothing that this is nothing. Hustle, even if he did want to apologize to you, Hustle is no big deal. This is social media. This is the internet world. You're not going to stop people from talking down about you. And if you show emotions that way, you're going to make people want to speak against you because um, some people be wanting the attention. But you can't make a person, I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, but don't get offended at what bloggers say about you when this is the internet. But according to Jahad, like he said, it was a misunderstanding because he didn't mean it that way. He was just being sarcastic towards Hitman, even though he did state that on numerous occasions. But I ain't for sure now that she was still in the room when he made those statements because she was quiet. She might have left out. But this stuff, people need to consider things before you start just appointing people. Like, think things through. When you really got family and loved ones and friends, even if they willing to go the distance for you, consider that your love for them should not put them in a situation by which you could jeopardize their life and freedom as a result of something that wasn't even worth it to begin with. It's not worth the struggle. It's not worth the emotions. It's not worth it. It's not. But again, I can say Jahad is a heavy supporter of Miss Hustle. A heavy supporter of Miss Hustle. And I understand Miss Hustle as a woman, take her name and brand seriously. And I know it's a few people who understand the line of bloggers and battle rappers and how it's a fine line right there. Because we cover these people and they watch us. A lot of them entertained by us. A lot of them sometimes despise us. But nevertheless, they watch and they are aware of who in the community. You know? For the most part, man, Jahad is a good brother, man. Jahad is a good brother, man. He just be wanting to have the conversations, you know, and belong, and at the same time enjoy himself. You know, he don't be meaning things like that for the most part. He don't be meaning that. But again, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it at all. It really ain't. I was gonna do an interview with him on this just for interview sakes. It got a little bit too late on my end, so I wasn't able to do it, even though I had called him to see was he available and things like that. But he had to be asleep because he in New York, so they like an hour ahead of us, and it was already like maybe 2 something in the morning when I called to see was he willing to do the interview, and he didn't answer. And he normally answer if he up. So with that being said, he didn't mean no harm. But I know at the same time I miss Hustle. It don't matter. Stop playing with my name type stuff. But when you love your family and loved ones, don't risk their life and freedom over stupidity and foolish things on the internet, because you're not going to be able to stop it at all. And with that being said, it's your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment, that's the question, it's yours. Subscribe to Battle Truth.